We'll call the meeting to order. Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Here.
Mr. Porter?
Here.
Mr. Sherwood?
Here.
Mrs. Smrek?
Here.
Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Porter, can you read the mission statement?
The vision and mission statement of the Austintown Schools. The Austintown Local School District is a united community with a proud legacy and progressive approach to education. We provide an inspiring education that strengthens and prepares our students for unlimited future opportunities.
This time we can approve the agenda for the organizational meeting of 1/11/2023.
Second.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
At this time, the Austintown Board of Education will accept nominations for the office of the President of the Board of Education. I would request a motion to open the floor for nominations for the 2023 President of the Board of Education.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
At this time, we will accept nominations.
I nominate Don Sherwood.
I will request a motion to close the floor for nominations for President.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
At this time, I will call the roll for each board member and ask for your vote. Please affirm yes or no. Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
The Board of Education of the Austintown Local School District shall nominate Don Sherwood as its board president for calendar year 2023. At this time, we will accept nominations for the office of Vice President of the Board of Education.
I'd like to nominate Fred Markham.
At this time, I'd like to a motion to close the floor for nominations for Vice President.
So moved.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
At this time, we will take the vote for the office of Vice President of the Board of Education. I will call each member's name. Please affirm with yes or no. Mr. Markham?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
The Austintown Local School District Board of Education shall nominate Fred Markham as its Board Vice President for calendar year 2023. At this time, I will administer the oath of office for both the President and Vice President. Please raise your right hand. The answer is I do. You do solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duty as the President of the Board of Education of the Austintown Local School District, Mahoning County, Ohio, to the best of your ability, and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office of calendar year 2023 and until your successor is elected and qualified.
I do.
Mr. Martin, please raise your right hand. The answer is I do. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially discharge your duty as the Vice President of the Board of Education of the Austintown Local School District, Mahoning County, Ohio, to the best of your ability and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office of calendar year 2023 and until your successor is elected and qualified?
I do.
Should we switch seats? Well, I mean, typically you do. How's the gavel?
Item 10, correct?
Yes. Number 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. Apologize. I'm rusty. Item 8, approve the recommendation that the board use Robert's Rules of Order as the parliamentary procedure guidelines for meetings of the board and its committees.
Second.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. I'd like to approve, a motion to approve the appointment of Fred Markham to serve as the legislative liaison with the Ohio School Boards Association.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 10, approve the appointment of Kathy Mock to serve as the Student Achievement Liaison with OSBA.
So moved.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 11, approve the appointment of Kim Smrek to serve as the delegate to the OSBA Capitol Conference.
Second.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Item 12, approve the appointment of Fred Markham to serve as the alternate delegate to the OSBA Capitol Conference.
Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 13, authorize the treasurer to make disbursements for payroll, bonds, and accounts payable when due and invest funds within the authority and in accordance with the board-adopted investment policy.
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
14, as recommended by law, establish a service fund in the amount of $4,000. Such funds may be used to make reimbursements to members of the board for expenses incurred in the performance of duties outside the district.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 14. Sorry, guys. 15. Approve the resolution for the Board of Education to reserve the right of approval for the purchase of certain goods or services, including utilities, fuel, and food products in excess of the $15,000, with the provision that in exceptional circumstances due to board meeting dates, approval may be granted by the board president or vice president.
Second.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 16, approve the recommendation that travel expenses for board members, superintendent, treasurer, curriculum director, and pupil services director for OSBA, OASBO, ODE, Regional Chamber of Commerce, and other school-related professional activities be approved through January 1st, 2024.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 17, approve the recommendation that compensation for board members at the rates for the purposes outlined in Ohio Revised Code 3313.12 be authorized.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Smrek? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 18, approve a resolution authorizing the superintendent to temporarily hire staff when vacancies occur between board meetings and to fill vacancies when it becomes necessary, pending board approval.
So moved.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 19, approve a resolution authorizing the superintendent to accept resignations between board meetings.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 20, approve the recommendation authorizing the superintendent to file applications for projects and grants considered desirable for the Austintown Local School District.
Second.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
21, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, approve retainment on an as-needed basis of the following 4 legal counsel for district needs.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 22, approve the recommendation to continue participation in the following state and federal grant programs during the 2023 calendar year as listed.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 23, approve the resolution whereas the following 501c3 nonprofit booster organizations and school support groups may operate for the 2023 calendar year effective January 1st, 23 to December 31st. Should be 24. Doesn't carry the whole school year then.
Yeah, that's why it goes through. I think 24 is right because it has to go through the school year.
Through 12/31/24, and be permitted to use the school's name and district logo as they seek student enrichment and strive to reach educational goals, and whereas the following booster organizations and school support groups shall provide annual financial reports for money that flows in and out of the club coffers, and whereas the Austintown Board of Education shall not oversee the financial operations of booster organizations or school support groups. Therefore, be it resolved that the following groups be approved in accordance with adopted board policy KMA relations with booster organizations and the booster organization handbook. Second?
Mrs. Smrek? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock? Mr. Porter?
24, need a motion to approve the third Thursday of every month here in AMS for regular session board meetings of the Board of Education for calendar year 2023 at 4 p.m.
Mrs. Smrek? Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek? Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. This will be a brief 5-minute adjournment. Sure. Okay, let's recall the meeting to order, please.
Mrs. Mock?
Here.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter?
Here.
Mr. Sherwood?
Here.
Mrs. Smrek?
Here.
Item 5, upon the recommendation of the treasurer, approve the agenda for the January 11th, 2023 Board of Education regular session.
So moved.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. There's nobody signed up for item 6 of public comments, so we're going to move on to building reports. And we're starting with Austintown Fitch High School. Mr. Kelty.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to congratulate Mr. Sherwood and Mr. Markham, respectively. Also, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Mock on her bestowed award given to her by the Ohio Education Service Center Association. Congratulations. Life Act suicide prevention was at Fitch High School and presented in every grade level in all English classes for all 1,300 Fitch students the last 2 days. We also have recently completed our government air testing and will continue all testing in the spring. The Business Journal will be showcasing an article on Mr. Fisher's woods projects. The students right now are completing a new board office table. They have remodeled our Falcon Media area, our foods lab with a new tile floor, countertops, backsplash, and cabinets, and also a project to honor our great high school that once was on Mahoning Avenue with the actual brick and wood coming to the halls of present-day Fitch. So we look forward to that very much. Friday will be a full formation rank inspection for our ROTC candidates by Command Center from Washington, D.C. in our gymnasium. January 29th will be our 50th choir concert anniversary performance, starting at 3 p.m. Numerous alumni from literally across the country will be back at Fitch High School to perform. And I'll end with Friday ends our second semester, which means half our school year is over and completed. Have a great night.
Thank you. For a report on Austintown Middle School, Mrs. Vickers.
I know you're expecting Jim, not Jim. First, I'd like to give a shout out to our awesome PTA here at AMS. They have held a 6th grade and a 7th grade dance, and Friday the 13th is the 8th grade dance. So, can't wait. We are currently working on the care closet that we got the generous donation from United Way on, and orders are arriving daily. The Amazon man is here every day. So we're excited to see that come together. And starting tomorrow, the food bank we have over here from Second Harvest is getting transferred to AIS. And I second Tim's thoughts of the school year is halfway over as of Friday, and we have just completed our 3rd round of progress monitoring. So our students will be assigned to new intervention and enrichment groups for the next semester. So that's what's going on in AMS.
Thank you. With an update of AIS, Mr. Papagallo.
Happy New Year, everyone. No snow, which is a good thing. We're finishing up our winter diagnostic testing this week. The students are showing some huge growth, so that's very promising. We're going to be hosting our Ability Awareness Week, January 23rd through the 27th. It's a week where we talk about various types of disabilities and we promote empathy towards others with our children. February 1st is National Read Aloud Day. We always have special guests come to our building and read to our children. Always a fun time. And we're going to be hosting a Hug a Hero Day. This year we're going to be honoring all active and retired military. We'll be inviting guests to come in to speak to our children and just say thank you for their service. And that's coming up on February 16th. Piggybacking off Robin, our PTA is just absolutely wonderful. All our PTA are just really great people, and they're really putting our students first, and they go above and beyond every day for our students, and we really appreciate them. Shout out to our maintenance and custodial crew. Over the winter break, they had some pretty serious jobs, and they did one heck of a job, and they're working overtime and just working to get our buildings up and running, and we really appreciate all their hard work. That's all I got for you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have an update on the elementary school from Holly Welch.
Good evening, everyone. First, we want to thank Fitch for coming to AES. Miss Trigg and her Spanish students did a Three Kings holiday lesson, and the students were thrilled to do that. Currently, we're in the middle of our middle of the year benchmarking assessments. Our Pet Santa Community Service Project, which was student-led, fundraised $4,500 and was featured in various media outlets. We were very proud, and the kids were excited to get a thank you card from a pound puppy. We have so far for PK 40 families pre-registered for next year already, and that has yet to be marketed, so we're nearly busting at the seams with our littlest Falcons, which is a great thing. Also, through the United Way and Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, we were able to provide multiple literacy resources to our families. So from birth to 5, they're all set, so we're setting that firm foundation. We're proud of Mrs. Schilling's students in the Gifted program who were among the nation's top. Their entries will be published in an upcoming poetry book. Our Success After 6 program will now host grade K. We're adding another level. We have currently grades 1 and 2, and we're going to go to a hockey game together on the 20th, so we're excited for that family event. And finally, our halls are filled with YSU Penguins, who then hopefully become staff at one point. We have student teachers, we have those doing preclinicals, so lots of teaching and learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8, Treasurer's consent items. Upon the recommendation of the Treasurer, approve the following items A through D by consent action.
Mrs. Smrek? Yes. Mr. Markham? Yes. Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 9, Superintendent's consent items. Upon the recommendation of the Superintendent, approve the following items A through G by consent item,
So
by
moved.
consent action.
Second.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Yes. Mr. Porter? Yes. Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Item 10, upon the recommendation of the Superintendent, approve the following contractual agreements made by and between the Austintown Local School District and 1 Supplemental Education Services for the period beginning July 1, 22 and ending on June 30, 23 to provide staff for delivery of Title I services to the Austintown Local School District students at Victory Christian. And 2, Lowellville School District, Lowellville Board or Lowellville, Whereas Lowellville and Austintown are both boards of education and political subdivisions in the state of Ohio, legally authorized by Ohio Revised Code Section 3313.222 and 9.482 to enter into shared services agreements upon such terms as are agreeable when authorized by their respective legislative actions. And whereas Lowellville is in need of an interim treasurer/CFO through the end of fiscal year 23, whereas Blaise Karlovic served as the treasurer/CFO of Austintown pursuant to a contract dated August 1, 2019 through July 31, 2024. And whereas in an effort to facilitate a cooperative financial cost-sharing arrangement, it is the agreement of the Lowellville Board and the Austintown Board to share the services of the treasurer/CFO of Austintown, Blaise Karlovic, Mr. Karlovic, or interim treasurer, in order for Mr. Karlovic to serve Lowellville in the capacity of interim treasurer. And whereas this agreement serves to advance the parties' mutual interests toward the enhancement of operational efficiencies and cost savings for both school districts. And now, therefore, the Lowellville Board, the Austintown Board, and the interim treasurer herein specified agree to the following as presented.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 11, upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Austintown Local School District will pay Andrea Apiza a stipend of the amount of $7,500 total payment to account for services to both Austintown and Lowellville boards from December 28, 22 through June 30, 23.
So moved.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. 12, approve the recommendation to direct the superintendent to notify the Ohio Department of Education that the Austintown Local School District will again be an open enrollment district in the 2023-2024 school year. Second.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Item 13, the next work session will be a motion for February 16th, 2023 in the board conference room at 4 p.m., regular session following on the 16th of February here in this cafetorium at 5 p.m.
Mr. Markham? Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter?
Yes.
Mr. Sherwood?
Yes. Any comments?
I'd like to congratulate Dawn and Fred, respectively, and thank the board for entertaining an agreement with Lowellville Schools to help share and reduce some costs for both districts in a time when that is much needed.
Yeah.
At this time, we do have Taylor Barrett in the audience and Juliana Schrock also. So you want to stand up, please? Our new hires. And then also, every January is Board Recognition Month, and we will do our due diligence in recognizing our board and thanking them for their service. They do get a small stipend. It's ridiculous how little it is, but for the time they put in, and also the amount of work and the amount of things that come across their plate and what they have to deal with. So please join me in thanking Fred Markham. Kim Schmreck. Congratulations, Kim. Don Sherwood. Thank you, Don. Kathy Mock. Congratulations. And Harold Porter.
Boo.
Just another reminder that Monday is in recognition of Martin Luther King, and we will not have school on Monday. So just another reminder for that.
Any comments?
First off, I'd like to thank everybody. A Happy New Year. And I sit here, and I'd like to thank my colleagues for a wonderful year last year. It was quite a pleasure working with you and learning from you all. It was quite a pleasure getting to see you sit in a 3-hour meeting at the Capitol Conference. But our staff, our students, our parents, everybody that's here, you're here for a reason. And I'd like to say on behalf of the board, we appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do. Keep up the good work out there, and let's finish this year really strong and look forward to summer break here in a few months.
Sounds good.
I want to thank Mrs. Schreck for her service as board president. I also want to congratulate Don Sherwood and Fred Markham for being our new leaders. I also want to just thank everybody that's sitting at the table and around the corner too for working together. We have a half year to go, so there's still a lot of wood to chop. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Mr. Markham? Yes. Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Mrs. Mock?
Yes.
Mr. Porter? Yes. Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
In association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.